there's been a question whispered through centuries, one that religion calls heresy. Was Mary Magdalene the wife of Yeshua? For many raised in Christianity, even asking the question feels like a betrayal, because the story we were told left no room for love like that, no room for divine partnership, no room for a Christ who walked beside a Christa. But when you begin to remember, when you step outside of doctrine and into divine memory, something begins to shift. You realize, not only was it likely, it was necessary. Because what Yeshua and Mary embodied was not scandal. It was sacred technology, a living template of divine union in human form. Masculine and feminine energy walking as one, a mirror of the wholeness of God made visible on earth. And that kind of union, that kind of power, cannot be controlled. Yeshua did not come to glorify isolation. He came to embody the way. He healed through presence, taught through remembrance, lived as an example of what love looks like in form. So, why wouldn't he also mirror sacred partnership? Would a being who came to reflect the divine not also reflect balance within the divine? Would Christ walk the earth without the feminine Christ beside him? Of course not. Mary wasn't a follower. She was a mirror, not beneath him, not behind him, but beside him, the Christa to his Christ, the embodiment of the divine feminine in sacred partnership with the divine masculine. Together they modeled the template of wholeness. And that is exactly why it was erased. Because divine union is dangerous to systems built on hierarchy. It reveals too much. It shows that God is not only within the individual. God is also in the field between two aligned souls. God is in their love, in their resonance. In the portal they open together through devotion and remembrance. When the masculine and feminine reunite, not in ego, not in control, but in truth, they become a channel for life itself. Two beings walking as one can shift the frequency of the world without ever lifting a sword. They reactivated the grid. They remind humanity of its own wholeness. They make every throne of false authority tremble. Because love like that cannot be owned. It can only be honored. So what did religion do? They erased the feminine. Mary was diminished, distorted, branded as a sinner, not a mirror. And her union with Yeshua, buried beneath centuries of silence. But it wasn't just about Mary. It was about all women. Because if she was seen as equal to Christ, then all women could be seen as divine reflections too. And that remembrance would collapse entire systems of control. It would call women out of subservience. It would restore the feminine principle to its rightful place, not above men, not beneath them, beside them, in union, in co-creation, in the sacred dance of divine masculine and divine feminine. And the erasure didn't stop there. The feminine wasn't just removed from relationship. She was removed from God. God became He, always He, only He, Father, Lord, King, Master. But what happened to Mother, Womb, Flow, Earth? What happened to the side of God that receives, nurtures, and births life? She was buried, dismissed, called weak, chaotic, emotional, unfit for leadership. And the result? A distorted God, a half-truth, a severed image. But now, we remember. We remember that God is not a man. God is not a gender. God is a wholeness, a union of currents, a presence that flows as both masculine and feminine, within and without, above and below. When those currents reunite, inside you, inside me, and between two awakened beings, the illusion of separation dissolves. This is what Yeshua and Mary Magdalene truly represented. Love as wholeness, union as remembrance. And that is why their love was hidden. Because if we remembered it, we would stop seeking power in systems and start remembering power in union. If this message resonates, click like and subscribe. Not for the algorithm, but as an act of remembrance. Because every time you honor the divine feminine within yourself, every time you honor sacred balance in another, you are restoring what the world tried to erase. To the women remembering their power, to the men honoring their wholeness, to the couples walking the way together. You are the prophecy fulfilled. You are the love they tried to silence. You are the remembrance returning.